Okay, guys, so many of you guys have asked me why I switched from Nikon to Canon cameras, and so I'm finally going to give you the reasons why I switched. I know this video has taken me forever to get around to, and you guys keep asking me, so I'm finally doing it. So here goes. There's not very many reasons why I switched. There's a couple practical reasons, and then there's a couple of things that reasons why I really did want to switch to it. But one of the practical reasons is so many people shoot on Canon cameras, and this is benefiting me to switch to Canon in a couple of different ways. But a big reason is all my second shooters use Canon, and because of that, it's kind of like, it's going to benefit me because, what if my equipment fails, or like what if I need to borrow a lens or an extra camera or whatever reason. Like, I have so many friends who all use Canon. My husband, all his gear is Canon equipment, so I feel like so much safer, with knowing that there's so many people out there that use Canon, and of course my husband and all my second shooters. It just makes a lot of sense for me to switch to Canon because it's very convenient. I think that's what I was trying to get to. Like, it's just really convenient, that, now that I've switched and everybody else is using Canon. So that's one reason. But on top of that, since all my second shooters do use Canon, I've had the opportunity to edit a lot of Canon images. And I've always loved the way Canon images look. They're like, the way I edited them, the way my presets look on the images look so good. I didn't even have to change my presets when switching over. Like, I think they almost even look better on Canon images than they did like on my own Nikon images before. So the Canon colors is a huge reason why I switched to Canon. I don't know, like, I know any normal person walking along the street who doesn't know anything about photography would never know the difference between Canon and Nikon colors because they just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. And even most photographers might not even be able to tell a difference. But I look at colors so much. I'm so color oriented. Like, I can see colors so easily, the finest line between two different shades of red. Like, I can see it. And so I can definitely tell. To me, there's a big difference between Canon and Nikon colors, and I've been able to see that for years. And so I just never thought I would switch because I thought it'd be like a lot of money. It'd be really expensive to switch. It'd be a long process, but it got to the point where I just was so in love with Canon colors that I had to switch. So I finally switched. I'll tell you guys how I actually like it in a second, so just hang on. But these are still the reasons why I switched. So yeah, practical reasons. Second shooters have Canon, and it's been really great. A few months ago, my husband actually bought this Canon membership. Remind me the name of it again. Canon, he bought Canon Professional Services. It's $300 a year, and what you can do is send any Canon equipment in, bodies, lenses, whatever, and they will fix it to you. But not only, or they will fix it, but not only that, like, you can ship it and get it back returned, like, overnighted within like a day or something like that. Like, it's super fast. So basically, the reason why that's so great is because if we have weddings like every weekend and we're in a really busy season and one of our cameras or lenses breaks or whatever needs to be fixed, we can ship it, they fix it, and they return it within like a couple of days. It's so fast, and with weddings from weekend to weekend, we need it, fixed in that week. And so we don't have to go anywhere and take it in or anything. Like, it gets so fixed so quickly. So at the time I was thinking, oh wow, I wonder if there's anything like that for Nikon. And I didn't really do much research about it, and I don't think there really is anything for Nikon. Maybe there is, I'm not really sure. But that was also like another great reason why I switched, because they had this option, and now we have all of our Canon equipment that if any of it needs to be fixed quickly, we can send it in, get it fixed, get it returned in no time at all. It's only $300 a year, so I thought that was like a really, really good investment. Okay, and then besides the colors, another reason that I didn't even know would be super beneficial to after I already switched, and I was surprised by it, was the file size of Canon images. I'm just gonna talk about this for like a brief second, but the file sizes are so much smaller with Canon. The Canon images are so much smaller than Nikon images, like the file size. So the reason that I love that is because I was shooting close to 400 gigs at a wedding with my Nikon camera. it was getting so ridiculous. At the time, I was just used to it. I didn't realize that that was like a lot, but it is so much. And not only was it taking up a lot of cards, like I had to have so many extra CF cards and SD cards, make sure I could back up all these cards on like internally in my camera, and then I had to transfer all these images onto my computer, which took hours, and then backing up all these photos. Like this is 400 gigs of photos I would have to transfer back up in several places. It took forever, and it just took so long. So switching to Canon, the file sizes are so much smaller. I probably average 175 gigs now at a wedding, maybe 200, but I think it's a little bit less than 200. But either way, I feel like I've cut it in half, pretty close. And so because of that, transferring, backing up, all that stuff does not take nearly as long. Thank goodness, because now it only takes me maybe like an hour, maybe not even an hour, honestly. But anyways, it's saving me a lot of time in the long run. It's just saving me so much time. I don't need to have as many cards on hand. So instead of using like, I have like 5 or 6 CF cards. I used to fill, 4 or 5 of them were like 64 gigs. Actually, I have two 128 gigs and then like 4 or 5 64 gigs. So add all that up, and I used almost all of that, with my Nikon camera. But now I only use like 1.5 of the 128 gigs. So it's so much better. Now I have like backups of CF cards. I have so many extra CF cards, so I don't feel like I have to I don't feel like I have to format my cards now between sessions, because I now have extra cards, because those cards are expensive, and I didn't want to have to buy more cards when I was using Nikon. But now with Canon, I can have like some cards for one session or a wedding, and some, if I have a wedding the next day, I'll just use different cards. So that's just been really handy now, knowing that I don't have to get everything backed up like that night, and then being able to format my cards to be ready for the next day. It's kind of a more smoother, like stress-free process. So anyways, all that I didn't even realize until after I'd already switched to Canon. And so that's a huge thing I'm so thankful for, that's with Canon. Those are just like the simple reasons, okay, so like my second shooters use Canon, husband uses Canon, everyone uses Canon, so it's easy to find backups if I need to. Now all the images are the same, so when I go through and edit all my images, they're all Canon images, so I don't have to make all those crazy tweaks or anything. We have the Canon Professional Services. I love the colors, and the file sizes are smaller. So those are like the bullet point reasons why I switched to Canon. And I just want to say, so kind of like reviewing how I've liked it so far, I love Canon. I love Canon brand. Nikon has been really great to me. I've been using Nikon since I was like 16 or 17. And so like 8, oh my gosh, is that like 7 or 8 years? Wow. I was using it for a long time. And I never noticed anything. There's nothing bad about them. I've loved them. They're amazing brand. I just had these reasons why I wanted to switch, and I switched, and I'm really thankful that I did. I think Canon is just more solid. I just love the colors. It's easier to work with. I've been using it for several months now, and I'm so glad that I switched. So I know a lot of you guys were asking, was it worth it to switch? For me, it was, because I notice those differences, and I notice those changes. If you're like one of those photographers who don't really notice like the difference in colors that much, or you don't, if that's not something that you really care about, then don't worry about switching. That's like a huge reason why I switched, and I'm really glad I did. So I love the colors. I love the lens options. I got the Canon 35mm lens, and that is such a solid lens, and so I've been so thankful for that, because I can tell a huge difference between that and like the Sigma lenses that I was using with my Nikon camera. So anyways, there's so many great things about Canon that I really love. I love that they have this option for us to send in our gear, and they can return it so quickly. Just so many different things. So just want to let you guys know, yes, it was worth the switch. I'm really glad I switched. And I'm really loving my Canon brand. So anyways, those are the reasons, and I really hope that, you know, maybe this helps you guys figure out if you want to switch. I don't think, you know, if it's something that you guys want to do, then great, go for it. If it's not something you ever thought about, but you're like, oh, she switched, maybe I should, like, don't switch just because I did. Switch because, you know, do your research, and, you know, and if you think it's worth it for you to switch, then great. If you love your Nikon or your Sony or whatever you use, stick with it until you feel like, you know, maybe you need something else. But I had my reasons why I wanted to switch, and so I just wanted to share that with you guys. But anyways, I hope you guys liked watching this video. I might be doing more in the future.